What's up, everyone? It's Ruby here, bringing you guys another video, and today it's going to be a little bit different because I want to try something that I've never tried before. I just want to see if, number one, if this is okay, and if it is, then we might do more of it. In terms of copyright, I'm not really sure how this is handled. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if any other people have ever reacted to like a podcast like this. But basically, this is Drama Queens. And for those of you who don't know, that is the podcast about One Tree Hill. And right now they are in an era that I am most interested in terms of like season 7. It's basically a rewatch podcast, but they talk about the episodes, they talk about the kind of behind the scenes, and they talk about more like real things. And I'm interested in really delving deep into Alex and Julian and Clay and kind of hearing about their experiences. And so I'm not going to do every episode. I do want to like be able to kind of like do it on my own as well. But this one is like 35 minutes, so I was like, yeah, I'll do the ones with Jana in it. I love Jana. I love Jana Kramer. And you know, I think I'll pick and choose kind of the podcast episodes if we continue to do this. Pick and choose the podcast episodes that I'm really interested in hearing about. There's definitely a few things that I've had in mind of. This one is just about Jana Kramer, I think. It's not really about an episode. So, yeah. Here we go. Let's listen to it. Let's see. Let's watch it.
You don't know me. We're all about that high school drama girl.
Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for this. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out together. Drama queens. I feel better about doing it this way because it's actual video, not just audio.
And they were like, oh no, we're so sorry, we're gonna have to reschedule this week. I was like, everybody out of my way, I need to catch up with my girl. Like, we have so much to talk about. And Rob was so cute. He was like, oh, you have to ask Jana if she like did the same thing I did, which was like, you guys were doing the podcast. He goes, and for the longest time I was like, why aren't my friends inviting me on their show? And I realized you only like have people on when they're characters on screen. So I was gonna have to wait 7 seasons. I was like, God, I've been like, I've been chomping at the bit to get to here, and we're finally.
Yeah, 1000%. I was like, well, everyone's like kept asking me, when are you gonna be on Drama Queens? I was like, I don't know. I don't still think they're because I'm not on.
You have to wait your turn, Alex.
You forget that we did our show for essentially the equivalent of 140 years, so it took us a while to get to Alex Dupre.
Yeah, I mean, like so many episodes, and just so long, and that's just kind of
like 700 episodes, basically. TV. No, it's not 700.
Like, when I even tried to rewatch things from, I'm like
7 years.
There's no time. By the way, I think about that so often, like when we go do our sweet little conventions and we get to regroup with people. It's like someone will say, oh, I'm on my 5th rewatch. And I'll look at them and be like, do you have like a time management app? Do you know something about free time that I don't know? And I would love your skills. And people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I just don't.
Sophia, we do it when we have nothing else to do in our life, right? Which is a lot of the time. We are not actresses. We do not have 24/7 schedules.
Okay, for our friends at home, I clearly am very excited. I actually started before you got in. I was just like talking to everyone about how excited I was that you were here, and then realized I wasn't recording because I'm like so pumped that I've forgotten how to do my job. But I voice noted Jana last night, and I was like, I'm beside myself that you're coming. I had obviously the most fun working with you. Like, for everyone at home, we were roommates for years. I love this woman. But like,
roommates or roommates?
And Alex were adversaries.
I'm kidding. Relax, okay? It's a joke.
I was so enamored with you because you're the most charming
Some people are roommates and some people are roommates.
Like, I never got to just watch you. I had to act with you, and now I'm watching you, and I am like,
can I just say how beautiful these women are? I wish I looked like that.
It's really weird for me. Like, anytime Nathan has chemistry with a girl on screen, I'm like jealous, and I was like, that's weird.
Wind down.
I was like, how cute. I guess because you guys worked together for so long.
Wind
and you know,
down.
Julian is Brooke's endgame, and I was like,
Right.
they have really good chemistry. I'm sort of offended. I'm also sort of a fan. Should Alex and Julian have ended up together? I don't know what's
It
happening.
means some people thought it. I
Spoiler alert.
might have thought about that.
Alex did get Julian.
No,
in the
Alex
end.
deserves to be with
We
Millie.
just did
I
it-
will.
we just did
I
a
will
movie
die
together,
on that
every
hill.
little piece of me, I was
Alex.
like, I'm gonna go on-
Alex should either die. I mean,
got
Alex.
Julian.
Alex finally got her mate.
Alex needs to look at Quinn and Millie.
So, didn't really end up well.
Okay, well, that was the plot
just
twist
saying.
I didn't see coming, but probably the point of the movie.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, but it was very much like a. Oh wow! I was like, a lot of people are like, Brooke is not gonna like this because like the trailer.
I'm gonna have to look at that
when they
movie.
casted Austin
It
and together,
sounds
I was like,
interesting.
All right, he's playing my husband, and my first thought was the Tree Hill fan. So I was like,
I sort of love it though. I
It'd be
feel
like if
it's a
Zac Efron.
testament to our show that so many of us wind
Never mind.
up coming together on all these other endeavors. Like, there's something really special about the kinds of friendships you build where it doesn't matter if it's been a week or a year.
It'd be like
since
if
you've
Zac
seen someone,
Efron
you're,
dated
like,
Ashley
right back
Tisdale.
in the groove.
It'd be weird.
It's something that only this little handful of us got to do together, and it's so special.
yeah, it was cool because I was so my husband has never watched One Tree Hill ever, and
Oh my
and-
God, I was gonna
How do you
ask.
not?
Yeah, he's no idea who I was on the show, and
I mean,
he-
fair enough.
and
It's a bit of a
honestly, like,
girl
when
show.
I auditioned for One Tree Hill, I didn't even audition for Alex. I auditioned for Chantel's character.
I didn't know that.
And Chantel auditioned for Alex.
What? Wait. Okay, hold on. Do you know that when the show first started, and I didn't even know this until years later because Brooke's not in the pilot. So like I missed, I showed up in Wilmington in July for like episode 1, and everybody had this pre-existing life for months where like they knew each other and all these things from the pilot
Hang on once again.
back in April.
Right.
And I had no clue about very pivotal pieces of information, both on screen and off. And I learned that originally the WB had tried to cast Chad as Nathan.
Oh wow.
And he was like, no, I always play the bad guy. I want to play the good guy. 'Cause I guess
And
his
he ended up
character
playing the
was
bad
like,
guy. I
really
mean,
terrible
come on.
character.
Lucas
I don't
left
know
as a
if
bad
you
guy.
watched the show. But so
Just kidding.
Chad was almost Nathan, and you were almost Quinn?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
You should have stuck
So
with
I
Nathan.
remember
Nathan was the
going
good
into
guy all
producer
along.
sessions with, the producers, and then the creator was there, and he was like, "You're great, but I don't think this is your part." And I was like, "Ugh, "Okay." He's like, "Can you read these sides? Can you go out in the hall and read these sides?" And so I'm just like, "Yeah, sure, yep." And so I go out there and I'm reading these sides and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is so not me. Like, this is the farthest thing from me. I don't feel connected.
Sometimes you have to
this
play the thing
character at
farthest from
all.
you to
And
play
I just like
the role
I don't
that
know,
is
like,
appropriate for you.
Every time, even like to this day, whenever there's like a really big energy, I don't know. It doesn't like. It just feels
I will
weird.
say,
I'm just an
Jana,
alcoholic,
I
and I've
can't
never
see
been drunk
anyone
before, and
else
I've
as
never done
Alex
drugs. And so
Dupre,
there's, like, all the things. I'm
anyone
like, I just
else
am not
pulling that
connected to
off.
This character. And then I booked it, and I was like, oh crap. So
Now I gotta pull
so
it
then,
off.
like, watching back, I was always really insecure of playing Alex because I just didn't. I don't know. She didn't. I really had to like try to like create something different with her and try to make her have a little bit of heart in moments.
Yeah.
And she
because I
definitely
just
did that.
didn't, like connect to her at times. But then there's other scenes where it was like, later on scenes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I so connect to her. But yeah, it was always so weird. But watching back, I'm like, okay, I wasn't in my head. I thought I wasn't good. I wasn't like funny, or I wasn't. And I'm like, oh, I'm actually.
You
laughing
needed
a
the
lot at, like,
outside
our
perspective.
scenes. So it was,
Who
like,
knows what they're doing,
enjoyable
or
to
who
actually
knows
watch
what they
back
are
a few
looking for.
episodes to go, okay, like this was funny, or I did do a decent job.
Yeah, I mean, my God, you're so good. It's really interesting to hear you talk about it in that way because that's how I felt getting cast as Brooke.
Oh wow, and you're like the perfect Brooke.
Don't ask me for the plugin. Find it
It's
yourself.
really you, obviously, I know you as a human differently, and you know me as a human differently. But on screen, you embody so much of Alex, and I think maybe that's the through line is when you can't understand why someone would behave in a way, you really have to figure out why. You have to figure out their emotional story. You have to have something underneath it that makes this, on paper, outlandish behavior feel like it comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I remember early in us doing the podcast when Joy and Hill and I were talking, and Joy was like, wait, but hold on, because to me, this all made sense. Why did it feel so different for you? And I told her this, and I don't know if we've ever talked about this part, but like, when we started the show, like when I came in for episode 1, I was 3 years out of an all-girls school.
Oh,
Like
wow.
there were 55 girls in my graduating class, and we were in school from 7th through 12th grade together. And then I went to
That's
a big
crazy.
sort of traditional college for 3 years, and then I came to set. I was like, what is high school? Who are these? Like, what do you mean they're in your class? What do you mean people ditch? I could never,
Ditch.
never have skipped class, like in the school that I went to. There's no way I could have gotten away with it. So to be this girl who was like sexual and into, I don't know, being wild and cutting school and didn't care, I felt like
We'll say
you felt,
superheroes make
being
terrible
like,
employees.
Okay, I guess I have to figure out
They're
why
never
you
around.
like
They're
this.
reliable. They're
Right.
always skipping
And
work.
you did, and you killed it.
What a trip, though, because I feel that watching you. I'm like, you just absolutely crushed it.
Well, thank you. But it was like we ended up watching a couple more of the episodes, and there was the scenes where I ended up finding her and me through her. It was a very like, and I now miss playing.
I'm
Alex.
curious as to what
It's
those
like,
scenes
just-
were.
She was so fun, and I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of times I don't take risks, and I'm like, oh,
I understand maybe, the logistics might not work, but I think it would be so interesting to just do like a little special of like seeing the characters grown up now, like as adults, especially since we never saw Alex really like grow up. Like her arc was kind of cut short when she left to do her music. So I think it would be interesting just to have like not even a whole show, but I think the way that you would do it is you would do like a little special for One Tree Hill, and it'd be a reunion special, and the concept is like the Scots are like hosting a house party or hosting like a dinner, and they invited all their friends, and we can kind of see where they're at now. Like, I'm sure Jamie will be much older. He's probably like in college now. And, you have them come together kind of discussing like where they've been. I'm sure now you could get Peyton to come back. You could get like Lucas to come back. I'm sure like most of the cast is down. I think you need to keep the creator away from the reunion. But, I mean, if that's what needs to be done, that's what needs to be done. I think instead you get the directors and the writers that were attached to One Tree Hill to do like a small little thing. And you have like a small budget, so you don't need too much, but I think something like that would be
not right for
really
this, I'm not right for
wonderful.
this. And so she's like, that character's kind of helped me go, okay, no, I wasn't right for I didn't feel like I was right for that, and I got it. So like kind of, and then like have fun with things, because I really truly like I stop myself from the fun and the joy of a lot of stuff. So because I'm too in my brain.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it so interesting when we go to therapy and we figure out how our childhood trauma presents as adults? And you're like, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do anything that is maybe unsafe. And then it's in the unsafe where you kind of learn the most and you have the most fun with yourself.
Yeah. So yeah,
Oh.
that's why I missed her. That's why it was fun to kind of like revisit. And then Alan was just chuckling in bed last night, just watching all of it. He was just like, he goes, "Your voice is different." I'm like, I know. Why is my voice so high?
But maybe the voice helped you get into it,
Right.
Yeah,
I
It was
love
interesting.
it.
But thanks.
Okay, so
I like the high
we
voice.
are
I like
in
Alex's
10 minutes
voice.
in, and I think what we have to do for the fans, I want to go through some like Q&A, let's get into some stuff questions.
Oh,
and
hell
then
yeah.
do the episode, because I feel like we have too much to talk about to try to do them all at the same time. Down?
Let's do it.
Okay, great.
I hope
So,
she is a
just talked
recurring
about
guest,
Alan. Also, footnote,
because there's a lot that I
Megan
want to know
Clark,
about
even
from
though he's
Jana
married to Tyler
in terms of
Hilton,
the
for all
season.
the friends at home, our beloved Chris Keller. Megan got these hats made that say "I've never seen One Tree Hill," because she'd never seen it, and she sent one to Ash, and I feel like Alan needs one too.
1000%. And also
Yeah.
though, I mean, I hate to say it, but I personally never watched One Tree Hill, and I watched a couple episodes, but then I didn't go back and like I didn't even know Nathan
Yeah.
and I didn't know they were brothers like until like way later. I really just didn't do my research before going on the show. I knew you, but I just yeah, and I was so nervous. I remember working through.
To be fair, I mean, Lucas wasn't around, so
Oh my God, stop.
I mean, how was she
Yeah,
supposed to
so
know?
but yeah, Alan for sure because he's never seen any of them. So yeah, until
I feel like that adds.
So great.
I feel like though that adds to, like, the unfamiliarity of not knowing these characters because you never met them, because you never had an opportunity to meet them. I think that it's good that Alex and that Clay, you know, these people, they never really knew Lucas because he just wasn't around, and I think that kind of adds to the realism of, like, yeah, I mean, you don't know who this guy is because he's never been around. Like, you know, I feel like it'd be weird if they kind of were more familiar with Lucas and they never met each other, you know?
Wait, so what did he think? What was the feedback?
He was like, you know, in his little cute Scottish accent, he's like, yeah, babe. He's like, I get it. I get why people like it so much. He's like, I got into it, you know. So then, because he was asking questions about the episode we were watching, he's like, so wait, is there a love child with Nathan, or is that like she actually lying? So I'm like, oh, you're asking questions.
You're like,
Okay, so
interesting.
you're into it.
Invested in the drama.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, so well, I thought Coletti or you know Steven's character was with Mia. So I thought that was your boy. So like, he was like, how does
You have to wait. You have to wait for it. Wait for it.
So he liked
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Gotta
love
wait
it.
for it.
And then he was just like, you're so young, and you know, he's like, you're cute.
I was watching yesterday to get prepped, and I'm on the East Coast, and so Ash sat down to watch with me. Our friend Sammy is here, and she was like, "Wait, but that's your boyfriend. Wait, you also dated this guy in high school. Wait."
I like how I don't necessarily
Everyone on
need to
show,
even
okay,
watch
there
the
were so
episode
many
in order to
questions
know
that
what
I was
they're
like, oh
talking
man,
about
people-
because I have this
it's
show
the
like
exact same
down,
feeling. You're
especially
like,
season
you
7.
really do want to know who these people are. You want to understand their world.
Yeah.
And then the question that is the bane of my existence, which doesn't relate to any of our characters, is everyone who tunes in later seasons goes, "Why is your store so purple?" I'm like, I didn't pick it out. It wouldn't have been my choice. I don't know what else to say other than it was the early aughts and people were really into lavender. I
It
don't know.
worked. It worked. It's
It's
fine.
fine.
It's fine.
That's funny.
Okay, you and Alan got married in Scotland.
We did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long has it been? How is newlywed life? Tell us how you met your man.
So he DM'd me on Instagram. That's how
Stop.
we met. He slid into the DMs, but he's a football soccer coach, and so he was coaching in England. And at the time, you know, I'm divorced, have 2 kids, and I had just had quite a fun summer. And I'm like, you know what, I just need a break, and I just want to just chill. And but he was pretty persistent, and I told him if he was ever in the States to come to Nashville, and you know, we can go out for a drink. And we were texting, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna be in Tampa, so I'm gonna come. I'd love to take you out in Nashville. So I was like, sure, I'll go out with you. And then it was just like stepping into my own Christmas movie. It was in November, and the Christmas lights were all up in the tree, and he just like turns around in his like dapper, you know, pea coat and his like sexy Scottish accent, and I was like, oh, I am so screwed. And then you know, things obviously progressed pretty quick from there, and he moved over in March. I was pregnant in gosh, I don't even what April, and then we had our baby in November. And,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
and then we just got married on July 13th, 24. So
Oh, it's so
The day after my
exciting.
birthday.
yeah, and he's I mean, he's a dream. It's so beautiful now, kind of where life is at, because there were so many questions like, why did this happen, or how
Yeah.
come I have to go through that, and like
You
the
need to
struggle that I had
go
with
through
my
that
ex-husband
journey.
for 7 years, and just like the back and forth, you know, affairs, and it's like it's so beautiful now to go, okay, I had to kind of walk this path, find me through that path, and then find the
Yeah.
absolute love of my life, who I
Yeah.
just trust with everything. And
Things
how
just
he
happened
loved,
for a reason.
my 2 kids, his now stepkids, is just, it's so beautiful. And like they now get to see what, true love looks like, and in a, a more modern world. And it's just, it's beautiful. And he's so good with me. Like, he pushes me, but yet he's very protective. He's very loving. And we have each other's back. And there's no doubts, because he shows up, he says what he says, and he does what he does, says what he does. So it's those words and
I
actions.
want
that
Alex,
then trust him,
aka
not,
Jana Kramer, to be a
validate
reoccurring
us.
guest on
It's
this
so
season. Like,
beautiful.
even if,
It's
like,
peaceful, and it's like
I think it would be really
breath,
interesting to
and
hear a
just
perspective
stepping
on
back, and
Alex.
that's just
I hope they do that. I mean, I know not every episode, but I think it'd be very valuable to have her whenever, like, Alex is kind of more present.
Certainly, like,
Especially with the drug addiction
together.
incident
In
and
a
the
parallel. And I didn't even
713,
realize for the
if you know,
longest
you know.
time how hard all the work felt.
Mhm.
And I think when you have, to your point, past betrayal to heal,
I'm kind of going through
you know,
the
it's
pivotal
very,
changes that
by the way,
Alex
well-deserved
had to go
trust
through.
issues. Like,
Mhm.
when you've been through things that are so hard,
Please have Sophie. I mean, please have Jana come back like multiple times. Please, please, please. I need her to be a regular
and that you can
guest.
move past it. And when you try to do everything right,
I actually thought that they would choose Jana to be the reoccurring drama queen to replace Hillary. Like, I really thought that, man, it's probably going to be Jana because, like, this is where we meet Alex. But I understand why they wouldn't, because the thing is, Alex is only in, like, 2 seasons and she doesn't finish. So it might be a little bit strange to have her be on for those 2 seasons and then replace a host again. So maybe that was the reasoning behind not choosing Jana as a podcast colleague. Or maybe it's just because I know Jana has, like, her other stuff that she's working on in terms of, like, her own podcast, her music, maybe it just didn't work out schedule-wise, or maybe it was simply that, Rob wanted it more. And I also do appreciate having Rob on as a guest because I think his opinion is valuable from a guy's, point of view, because we just don't have that guy point of view, on this podcast, so I don't know.
it doesn't
I just love
mean
Jana.
that it's right for you.
I love Jana Kramer.
Doesn't necessarily mean that
Mm-hmm.
that checking every box off the list is going to
Yeah, it's like what Quinn says.
happiness or peace.
Yeah.
And
That's what I love about that quote about what Quinn says in the 7-3-4. I don't know. But she says that they're walking down a cereal aisle, and Quinn and Haley are walking down a cereal aisle in the grocery store, and Haley picks out a cereal that is healthy and nutritional, and she says, this cereal box has everything that you need. And Quinn fires back with an interesting line of, it might have everything that I need, but it doesn't have everything that I want. And that, I think, is a very powerful thing, because just because you need it, like, there are alternative options that would solve both issues of need and want. And, there is a balance between that. It's interesting that it's called selfish to actually want what you want. Because sometimes it feels counterintuitive. Like, it's not that I'm being selfish. It's just that I just want, to have that freedom of choice. Like, yes, I need food, but that doesn't mean that I want or need to have, like, kale all the time. No, I mean, I can choose to have, like, steak or chicken or whatever I want to eat. Like, I don't need to eat the food that you have given me. I should be able to choose what I want to eat. Like, you can kind of say, yeah, I mean, you need you like need sleep, therefore you know this comforter, this mattress has everything that you need because all you have to do is sleep on. But no, you want to be comfortable. You want to. There's other things at play that make that experience more pleasant, and I think that sometimes that's overlooked because people see it as like entitlement, or they see it as like privilege, or whatever, and it's just not the case. Like, it's just that, like, you know, while I have the choice, I would like to be able to make it. Like, I just want the freedom of agency. And I think that's what a lot of people want, is just the agency to choose what you want.
I wonder if, especially because for us as performance artists, we've been trained to like push through the pain, sing through the sickness, act through the illness, whatever it is, because you have to be
There's
a
no
good
calling
team
out sick.
leader. And I think that can be really great in a team sport, but isn't necessarily so great in your personal home life.
Yeah.
And when you stop like fighting through it and you find a person you can rest with, like, what a gift.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's that piece, and then there's a piece of just so much safety too. Not in like a settling safety way. Like, he's just like, I feel so safe with him, and
I mean, you want that.
and with that is the support and the love and everything else.
You should never be with someone that makes you feel
I've
uneasy.
always kind of
That's what I'll say.
And I don't have to fear anymore. I
Like,
don't have to fear of the
trust
others.
your
I don't have
gut.
to fear of
Seriously.
betrayal. Like, I get to
Trust your
feel
gut.
safe
It knows better than you.
way, and that's a gift.
It knows more than you.
Well, yeah, when your nervous system gets to relax.
I know.
Yeah, if you're always on edge
Yeah,
around
like,
someone, maybe get away from them, because
Thanks. This is-
Yeah.
like, your body
you
knows
know?
what you need. I mean, what you
I think that's a really profound place to get to, is when you can look at every shitty thing that's ever happened to you, or every way someone betrayed your trust, and go, you know what? If that's what it took me to get here, and to just like lay it all down, and be willing to start over.
And it hurts. I mean, it's not like it's easy to cut somebody off, because like a lot of times, you know, you're good friends with them, you have a lot of trust in them. Sometimes they're your only option, or it feels like your only option, and so you feel like you owe them something because they're there for you. But like, it doesn't do you any good if you're hanging out with someone that is toxic and doesn't value you. Like, yeah, they might be someone who's there for you, but are they really someone that cares for you? Like, would they be there for you when you're feeling sick, when you can't get out of bed? Would they be there for you when you start losing your memories and you're suffering from dementia or cancer, or, you know, would they always be there for you, and would they care for you? And even if they would, you know, would they truly be the person that you see yourself spending your whole life together? Like, I feel like that's why so many marriages end in divorce, because people don't really sit down and have those conversations and be like, hey, you know, what if this happens? You know, people get married too quickly, or they don't have the discussions they need, and they think just because we don't fight doesn't mean that we have any conflict, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, you need to have healthy arguments. If you don't fight, you are going to end up in a bad situation where no one feels comfortable of saying what they really feel, and someone's gonna get hurt because they don't know how to express their boundaries. And
Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
it's big. I'm so happy for you.
I'm happy for you too.
So, what is
What are
life
those
like? Tell
pillows?
us what's going on. I mean, you've been such a great leader with your platform, like the things that you have been willing to speak about and the journeys you've been willing to take.
Is Sophia
people
in a
on.
closet?
I think people don't always necessarily know what sort of courage and vulnerability that can take.
She's certainly facing a
but
wall.
You've modeled it really, really beautifully.
Sorry.
And I don't know, like, what feels like next? You know, you just talked about the movie you did with Austin.
Yeah, it was so fun. That came out
What are those
this
pillows?
summer, and it was so fun. And that
Those
was that
pineapples?
was a piece on domestic
don't know,
violence.
man. They're so
which,
tiny.
You know, obviously, you know, my past with domestic violence, so to be able to kind of change the script, and I got to
Look, cables.
get the power back.
That
through
couch
acting
looks
was a really
comfortable.
powerful moment. Like, I never got to
Comfy
I got
couch.
to see my
I would never
ex
get a
in
white
court,
couch,
but I never
though.
got to say anything. And so this
Seems
like
like a bad
I got
idea.
to change the script with that, and so that was a really powerful thing I got to do this past summer. And you know, this year, I mean, my book, I'm still promoting the book that I wrote last year, the next chapter, and that was walking through a really hard season of divorce and getting through that. And but really, I've always put my joy and happiness on a relationship and a man, and I really had to go, okay, I forced myself to be alone to find true happiness with myself, and that was the hardest
Sit
piece
down.
of my post-divorce that I had to walk through, because I've always was like, I am happy when I am in a relationship, and I was like,
Sit
I have
down.
to break that cycle,
Sit down.
because I
Yeah.
will never be
Sit
happy.
down.
He will never be enough or make me happy. So I'm like, I gotta find it. So I think that was so I'm still working on ways of still talking
Hey, lay
about
down.
that. And
Sit
obviously
down.
through my podcast Wind Down has been a really, we do
Here, come here.
therapy Thursdays, because obviously I think it's really important to talk about mental health. So we have 2 episodes a week that we do, and then I'm just grinding and auditioning and just trying to, like, my dream obviously is to be back on a show. Watching these episodes again, and I kind of fast forwarded through a few more of the other ones,
Hey,
and
here.
getting to one of the episodes in the season,
Sorry.
one of the season finales, it was like like having that like camaraderie again with like a cast, and like it's just like I'm like, I miss it. Like I miss showing up and doing that and working, and I've gotten so close
Sorry. I got distracted.
on some shows that have just been heartbreaking, and this industry is so hard. It's like
Yeah.
I had one that I tested for, got pinned for, and working out all the stuff, and then you get the call, they're like, they went with the other actress, and I'm just like, it's just devastating, because
I know.
you get so close, and you're like, well, I don't know when I'm going to be that close again. But for me, I'm just like, I support my kids, and I will always be working and grinding, and a piece of that is like I want to be giving back and working on charities and stuff, but also dream goals are get back on the show. That's like my number one thing is working towards that, and just being the best mom I can, because I've got 3 kids now, and my husband, he's traveling a lot with soccer, so it's just it's a lot, as now, with having littles around, and so it's it's a responsibility, and for me it's like I want to keep grinding, but I have to supporting them, and also like
Sorry.
their childhood goes by so fast that I want to be present in those moments too. Like there's a lot of things that there was a movie I didn't take this year because I didn't want to go back to back movies, because I'm like, I'm not going to miss 6 weeks without my kids. Like that's just I'm still a mom first and foremost.
It's like Julian.
It's like the grind changes, and to really realize how everything you do models for them, and
Hey.
I think there's no way that you go through like some of the things you and I have been through, and you get to the other end of it where you go, oh, I can see everything that led me here. I see what I accepted that I shouldn't have. I see that I didn't know my worth. I see that I thought if I could build around what might be missing, maybe the center would fill in, like whatever the aha
We
moments
accept
are.
the people we think we
know,
deserve.
And I know you feel a lot of this. Like, I love my parents, but there was a whole lot I didn't learn in my house that I'm finally coming to terms with as an adult. And I cherish the fact that we have such a good relationship, and now we can talk about a lot of the things that I didn't necessarily understand as a kid. But when you realize how early they get molded and how early they learn, what healthy love is, and that they matter, and that they deserve to be seen and heard, and all these things, it's like, it shifts everything. And I get, when you're young, it's like, you go, yeah, we can do it all, we can have it all, and then you become an adult and you go, yeah, maybe, but not all at the same time.
Right.
And I called one of my girlfriends who has 2 kids, and I was like, the fact that I ever with a straight face looked at you and was like, well, yeah, why don't we just have dinner after the kids go to bed, like 8 o'clock? Like, excuse you? Yeah, if they've gone to bed at 8, like you're asleep by 8:12.
Right now.
Talking about. It's just like a crazy, it's a crazy thing, and it's fun. It's really special to watch you get to do all this and navigate all this, and I love the fact, even by the way, that you're so open. Like, to have written the book and to talk about what it is to find that sort of peace in yourself. And then also to be like, just because I finally put my own puzzle together doesn't mean I don't still have to work on me.
Oh no, I go
Thank
every
God.
2 weeks to therapy. I'm, because it's things come up that trigger you from certain things in your past. That's the whole thing. And what I think is cool about kind of you and I too is like you've seen me go on that boy chase struggle, and that and it's like there's so many times too when like I can reverse it and go, man, it's when I've seen my friends kind of see what I was doing, it's like
I'm
you
here.
can't do anything, you can't say anything. The person just has to go through it, So, and it's kind of you've gone on your own path of how your childhood has led you to walk different roads. So
Yeah.
and you find it out, and then you get to make the choice whether you're gonna succumb to that or you're gonna change it and grow. So
Yeah. It is. It's so surreal. One of the things that I love that you mentioned about even carving out a space for that sort of growth on the podcast, like what you do on Wind Down and what you do on Thursdays, I just think it's more powerful than you might even realize. The willingness to normalize growth,
Sophia's so
to
pretty.
normalize learning how to choose yourself,
How
to,
old
to
is she?
say no matter what it looks like on the outside.
How old is
you don't
Sophia?
have any idea what's
She doesn't
happening
look
on the
very
inside. The courage that it takes to share those things. I don't know. I'm grateful that you do
Damn,
it.
she's
Like,
40?
we're always going to get thrown
What the
things
fuck?
our way. Like life isn't easy. It's hard. There's
How is
things
she
that
40? They're
don't make
both
sense to us
40?
that
What the
we can be
fuck?
triggered from, but also like just because I'm not in a, my relationship now is the healthiest model of a relationship
I
I've
wish
ever
I looked
had.
that good
Like,
at
there's still
40.
gonna
I
be things
mean,
that come
I'm
in,
not
like I said,
40,
like
but
from the
I
past.
hope I
It's,
age that
how
well.
how do I make sure that I communicate from the girl I am now as opposed to the girl 20 years ago? Because I can go back real fast to her, and I can go in protective mode, and I can be an ass, and I can be mean with my words, and I can but that's all like my protection, and that's me trying to, because I'm get scared, and you're gonna leave me, you're not gonna choose me, and so it's like I go right back. So it's like, how do I take those moments to just breathe and go, okay, he's not leaving me, he's not hurt, So it's like, and that's not just him, but just anybody. So it's like because I go straight into gotta protect myself, up, and so. That's those things like that is just, continuing to work on that. And then something that else, anything else that kind of comes up, it's just I just think that you can always be growing, you can always be healing, you can always be learning. And so if I'm, because that's going to make me a better parent too. So.
Yeah, some people think that after you finish school and after you you're done with college or high school, that means that you stop learning, you stop trying to change and grow. And
it's funny.
It's very sad.
It wasn't even because we haven't even had
no, a lot of people like that.
Argument.
They just don't change.
Bickered a few times, but the other
never
day
grow up.
I had to work something in with. We were just kind of walking through something that I knew was possibly going to be triggering for both of us, and so I was like, all right, I'm going to tap into some therapy right now. I'm like, okay, what I heard you said was this, and I'm like, is there anything I missed?
The I statements. And people actually use those things.
And we had the most amazing conversation. And old school Jana, it would have been probably a big fight, you know?
Right.
I'm so happy for her. That's so nice.
Isn't that cool though when you see yourself grow and you're like, wow. I had that recently too. The ringer of my early 20s and going from this tiny environment to college, which, in 2000, I felt like I was on the set of Can't Hardly Wait or something. It felt like a rom-com. And then to be on our show, which was such a highlight, but to get chewed up the way women were in that early aughts era in the tabloids and whatever.
Yeah.
And by the way, to have all these other people project
their
someone else's
opinions
behavior onto me. And I was like, make the person who did the behavior answer.
I cannot stand that. I cannot stand that. When people are like, oh, well, this person did this and this and that, and so this is why you can't do this. I'm like, I'm not them. I'm not them. I have nothing to do with it, what they did. I'm not going to do that. I'm not that stupid. come on, man. Like, treat me like a different person. Because I am.
Like, I don't want to answer for it. Stop asking.
Yeah.
Like, it.
Like, it must be so annoying to be asked about somebody else. Like, if you want to know that, just ask them. Like, I understand people are related to each other. People are, girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives, and you want to ask their spouse and whatever. But if you're going to ask about a person and you want to know that information, just ask them. Why can't you just ask them? Don't ask me, ask them.
It was really traumatizing as a young person, and it was hard to go through it so quickly.
I hate that so much.
So, was new and whatnot.
I've been on the receiving end of those too many times.
I was like, leave me
Just
the fuck alone, back off, stop.
Yes, please.
And I was like, oh, whoa. Like, that old wound, like that pain, that 22, 23-year-old version of me needs adult me to hold her and let her know that even though she was very alone then, and the adults in the room were incredibly terrible to her and made a lot of this stuff worse.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the adult in the room now.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, it's been a while since it's been a while since I let her drive the car.
Yeah.
And like, okay, really important to check in and be reminded
Yeah.
that, like, it's
You're a
okay
human
to say,
being.
it's hard to do what we do. It's hard to be one little human on the receiving end of millions of people's feedback.
People envy what they
It's
don't
understandable that that's tough.
know.
Let's change our
Like,
relationship.
people always want to be rich, to be famous, to be a leader, to be corporate, to be CEO, to be blah, blah, blah. But they don't really understand the full extent of what that means, right? It's like people thinking, oh yeah, when I get to this level, it's gonna be amazing. When I get to this job, it's gonna be so much better. When I do this and that and that and this, like, it's gonna be miles better. If I just had a little bit more money, if I just have a little bit more time, like, some of that, sure. Yeah, some of that is gonna be a huge help. Like, of course, we want more money. Like, duh. It's gonna make life so much easier. You're gonna be able to kind of do what I want. Like, I always say, like, I don't need to be rich. Like, I don't need to be rich, like, billionaire. I don't need to be a billionaire. If I can get to $1 million, that'd be nice. But I just want a comfortable amount to where I can choose what to do with my life and not have any financial constraints, but I can kind of do what I want, give to people, but also invest it in what I'm passionate about, and not have to worry about debt, essentially.
Relationship to it for a while. Let's set better boundaries around it. Like, it's an interesting thing as an adult to start reparenting your younger selves, because you carry them around in you like little nesting dolls forever.
Well, that and like just the age of, when I started One Tree Hill, I didn't have an Instagram.
Nope.
And so, God, I wish I could, there's Instagram has helped me support my children. And so for that, I'm very grateful for that platform.
But it's
also it's been half the reason why I'm in therapy.
it's a blessing and a curse.
Because
Yeah.
of the loud noises and the voices and the criticism and also, I've felt in those areas too. Like, I've been on the other side of it too, and I'm like, wow, I was just a total hypocrite.
Oh, you mean you were a human? You were actually a human who's not perfect all the time, like a robot?
Right, but it's just like everything is so multiplied, and my therapist has really helped me work on, because I would just sit and stew and read and like almost like be like,
You can't
oh,
you
I
can't
am
be
that
like
person.
Millie. You
Like,
can't
no,
read
that's
all your
not
hate
who I am.
comments.
And so she really
Just
helped me
some of them.
with not letting the gas in. She's like, stop opening the window to get the gas. Like, she's like, you can't breathe. He's like, why are you're literally letting the toxins in when you open the window. She's like, you are doing it. She's like, I'm not opening the window for you. You're allowing the window.
It's like at some point you learn not to
but
open the
you
window.
don't understand, and it's hard, and but like me, I just like always want to like defend myself and like prove that I'm not this person, because that's what I feel.
And
like
in
I've had
some
to do.
cases, especially with such a online culture, it's expected for you to be on there. It's expected for you to have this platform, like especially as a celebrity. I mean, it's just expected that you have all these things, and then you have to kind of sit back and say, hey, wait a second. Why do I have a Twitter account? Like, what is the point? Like, the moment that I decided that I was going to delete my Twitter, I was like, what good has Twitter ever done? Like, it's supposed to be like this, like, platform where you promote yourself and you grow, but looking at everything that has unfolded on Twitter, it's like, when has that ever actually happened? Like, when has Twitter actually been used for good for me? Like, all I can remember is the bullshit drama and petty arguments that I've gotten into on that platform. Like, and the friendships is destroyed, and the people it's destroyed. Like, people just don't know when to shut up. Like, seriously. People get canceled on Twitter because they don't know when to shut up and put down their phone. Like, the amount of times people have been canceled because they just didn't stop tweeting. Like, put the phone down. God damn it. Put it in a safe. Just spend a couple minutes off the internet, please. And then you have to realize, wait a second. I don't need this. Like, I could probably delete my Instagram. I had never used that thing. Like, why is it even there? I don't know. I mean, right now I haven't, but I mean, I should delete it. I should delete everything, man. I should delete everything except the platforms that I really want to be on, which is Discord and YouTube and Twitch. Like, I shouldn't have any other platform because, like, why would I? Why should I? I mean, I know the mentality of why I did, because it helps get the reach. And also, I made my Twitter account before I made my Twitch account, like, or before I started streaming. Like, I know exactly when I made my Twitter account. The moment that I made my Twitter account is the moment that I started being active on Twitch. And I made my Twitter account specifically to talk to Twitch streamers that I was watching. That was it. That was why. That was why I made my Twitter account. I did not make it for, like, the social media gains. Of course, that helped, sure. But at the end of the day, none of that self-promotion shit even works. So, like, why even do it? It doesn't work. Like, it doesn't. It truly doesn't. When has tweeting going live ever helped a channel? Never. The answer is never, because nobody cares. Nobody looks at it. Like, at some point you have to realize, like, why am I even doing this? It doesn't even work. It's like doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Like, it's insanity. That's what it is.
Do with my past abusers, like, prove that I'm not the reason, like, that I should be hit or this, that, and the other. And so it's like,
Yep.
and I don't know if you don't.
We accept the people that we think we deserve.
You've obviously had the other side of, the criticism and online stuff too with other things, and it's like, is that why you kind of go offline a little bit? At times, like, I see you on there, but then also, like, it's like, how do you deal with, like,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
feeding
people need
into
to
that?
know when to put their
That's
phones down.
People are negative.
People are
Yeah,
horrible.
people are-
And what you realize is it's
Yeah.
like, you just don't know.
Mhm.
Like, people who saw you with your ex didn't know you were being abused.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People
It reminds me of when people were scrutinizing Melissa Benoist for allegedly cheating on her then fiance. I'm not going to say his name because it doesn't need to be said. With Chris Wood, her now husband, I think they're married. I don't know, but whatever they are, like, there was, like, allegations and accusations that Melissa had cheated and had an affair, like, on the show, and it turned out that Melissa is a victim of domestic violence. Like, maybe you shouldn't comment on something that you just don't know about. Like, if it's not you and you're not a part of it, like, and you have no idea what actually happened, like, why are you talking about it? Like, I mean, sure, there are some things that you can talk about. I think that adds value. But what doesn't add value is assuming something happened, something, you assume how it happened, and then you make commentary as if that thing actually happened, and it turns out it didn't. It's like commenting on a TMZ article. Like, wait for the actual like story. Don't cover a TMZ article. Goddamn.
People who saw me try to like build this life that I believed in and that I always wanted had no idea what it was like to go through the brutality of a year of fertility.
And social media does not know that inside walls.
No, they do not.
You struggle.
No, they do not.
what
They
you're
don't
doing.
know. They don't know anything.
Alan always says,
People are
"What's inside
stupid,
four
man.
walls
They don't even read an
matters,
article.
and that's the truth."
It's the fact that people only read the
We
clickbait
love
titles and
Alan.
never the
He's just, like,
article
my
that
steady
shows you that they do
calm,
not pay attention. They do not know anything.
Rob calls
Never
me the
trust
president
any of them.
the Jana Kramer fan club of drama queens, and I know you're clearly the president of the Alan Russell fan club, but I would
am.
like to be your VP and co-chair.
You got it. And can I do Ashlyn, since she's kind of my lesbian, she is my lesbian crush, so if I
Aw.
just thanks, girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come over. We need to get the family.
We can talk football. We can do a double date, and we can talk, well, like, soccer. That's, I have to say
I mean, it's
football,
real
even though
football.
it's soccer.
It is. But it's so weird to me that
I'm not
we
gonna
have
have
this
this discussion.
incredible global
I'm not
sport
gonna have
that
this
is played with feet.
Should you call it soccer, though, even though she's an American?
It's soccer.
I mean, it's like back and forth for her. She played in Germany. She played in Sweden. Like,
It's
she's
soccer.
done the whole rigmarole. But it's very funny to me that, like, in America, we're like, well, for the world, the game with the feet is football. But here we throw a ball around with our hands, and we'll call it football because we decided. I'm like, we did this.
Yeah,
Did
but
this.
double date coming soon. They can just talk football.
Football. Football.
This has felt like therapy.
Yeah, that's
for me.
what I was just saying. I was just saying
Had this
football
moment
and
ago.
football.
I have 1 million more questions for you about our show, about Alex Dupre.
I'm looking forward to it.
Every dreamy Wilmington. Thing.
I'm
So let's go
so looking forward. Yes,
Thanks for
please. I
listening.
will read.
Don't forget to
If this works, if this is not like copyright struck and like blocked everywhere, I will react to 706. Like I will watch these podcast videos with you. The only thing that will stop me is if this does not get seen. Like I'm doing this to test it, and if it works, I'm going for it. Like I'm so ready for this. I'm so down. I'm so down for it. Let's have that discussion. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below your favorite One Tree Hill character. I know everyone has one. And ship. Crack ship and canon ship. I want to know. Okay? Alright. Peace out, guys. It's been a blast. I'll see you next time.